Ugh, it's that time of day again. Time to get up and make someone else rich. Hi there, and welcome to the Build Your Wealth podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Thompson. Over the years, I've taken the skills I've learned as a dedicated employee in multiple fields and turned it into a thriving six-figure online business to create a wealth of my own. Now I'm here to teach you how to do the same thing. I share my successes and failures as an online business owner with you to help you avoid the pitfalls that can come with being an entrepreneur in the online space. It's my goal to help you achieve your success faster, adopt the right mindset for that success, and to show you how failing forward is all part of the process in building your wealth instead of someone else's. This is the Build Your Wealth podcast. Have you considered becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe you already are one, but wonder, am I enough? Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Nicole Thompson, and I help new entrepreneurs ditch the day job, create a successful online business, and start living life on their terms. In my last episode, I covered feeling like you may not have enough education to be a business owner. So if you missed that episode, you might want to hop back over and have a listen after this one. Today I'm going to wrap up this series with part 3, where I want to address one of the most frequently asked questions that I see. How do I know what to charge for my products or services? Knowing what value to place on your products can be excruciating for someone who's still determining their place as an entrepreneur. You might feel as though if you set your pricing too high, you'll be driving away potential customers. But if you set your prices too low, you're destroying any real profit you might get. Here's what you ultimately need to get your head around. Your product value is not determined by the item you sell. That's right. I'll say that again. Your product value is not determined by the item that you're selling. So you're probably saying, well, wait, what? Okay, sure, a physical product might have a suggested retail price by the manufacturer, but most wholesalers don't require you to sell at that price. You end up determining the price you charge your customers. Charging your own prices as a reseller can be a slippery slope, though. Too high, and you can't compete with the other vendors that are selling the same types of things. Too low, and you don't leave enough meat on the bone to make a living. Sticking with the suggested retail price is always an option, but it's nice to be able to have the freedom to choose. It is entirely possible to get the perceived value of your physical product to be higher based on how you present it, though. Now, for a service-based business, this can be a little more fluid. A digital product or service is a totally different ballgame. You might be able to comparison shop a bit for similar products and services to yours to get a baseline. But what you're offering is based on something that you either do, teach, or create. And there's no price list anywhere that can determine what dollar amount to put on you. Your value is determined by how you want to be perceived in the marketplace. And since there's no one in the world that can do what you do exactly the way you do it, the value you place on yourself will vary depending on your mindset and your own perceived value, and will be reflected in how you present it. The value of your product is ultimately determined by you. So if you feel that what you're offering isn't valuable, what type of client do you think you're going to attract? You'll likely attract the tire kickers, the skeptics, the test drivers, and ultimately the returners, which none of us wants to be dealing with on the regular. Now, the same holds true if you place a higher value on your product. If you value yourself and what you're offering, others will see that value too. But you have to see that value first and believe it, because it's going to show. It'll be evident if you don't believe in what you're peddling. You're essentially determining the value of the client you're attracting. So if you're putting a bargain basement price tag on your products and services, you're going to attract bargain basement shoppers. These are the folks that kick the tires, take it for a test drive, use up all the gas, leave a big old dent in the door, and then come back looking for a refund. But when you place a higher value on what you're offering, you'll be attracting a higher caliber of client. Look at it as though you're weeding the garden. If some people come to check out your wares, but balk at the price tag, they really weren't that serious about working with you in the first place and are probably not your flavor anyway. Anyone who sees the same value in your products and services that you're placing on them is a valuable customer and someone who will likely get the most benefit out of your exchange. By undervaluing your product or service, you're stating to the world that you don't value yourself and you don't have confidence in what you're selling. Don't be afraid to believe in the value of what you bring to the equation. Believing in yourself is half the battle. So that wraps up this 3-part series on the age-old question, am I enough? I hope that you enjoyed this series, and if you'd like to hear more episodes like this, please leave me a review. If you have any topics you'd like me to discuss, I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me on my website at NicoleThompsonNow.com and send me a message. Your question might be answered right here on the show. So what's next, you ask? Tune in next week to find out. You've been listening to the Build Your Wealth podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you don't miss an episode by subscribing to the show. I've included any links to specifics mentioned in the show notes section below so you can easily grab them there. I hope you'll consider leaving a review for me and let me know what you thought about the show, and if it helped you or resonated with you in some way, I'd love to hear about that too. Thanks again, and I'll see you over on the next episode. To your success.